Greetings! And this is for you, Starfleet Command Arcturian by trade, Syrian by night. Now, this is going to be sounding a little interesting, but this is for your enlightenment, for you getting the picture. Things made clearer. So this episode is called The Abduction Stories, also Phantom Pregnancies. What's the meaning? So let's go to my loved ones, my females. First, as in the universe is female first. So by genetic design, women are born with millions of eggs in the womb. That breaks down when they mature into a couple of 100,000. Please Google that. And then it breaks down into 500 ovum being eligible even to be ready to conceive, to bring forth life. So there are these cases that are called phantom pregnancies. So I'm going into that topic and also abductions, and not to be confused from what had happened in the past and what's going on now and the contractual agreement that you're under. You are on Earth, you are under contract of the Galactic Federation. Why? Because you're all here. Anybody says that is not so, wouldn't be here. Some might say that, some want to leave. Earth is and was partially barbaric and brutal for angelic descendants such as you. Now here is your storyline. For those that are in resonance, you know what we're talking about. So, the phantom pregnancy is having all symptoms of a pregnancy, going to the doctor, realizing you're not pregnant, and at some point these symptoms fade. The following reason is that you can say the galactic command and things that I have downloaded is the conclusion as partially you are pregnant. The egg will be taken or is taken or has been removed by the decree or the, you can say, the agreement of your higher self. So your lower self might say, we know there's conflict. I might not be in agreement. I like having control. I don't like them doing that. But you in your highest version, as in the bigger picture, helping to solve the dilemma of gene codes that were kind of, you can say, fractaled out in a bad way, influenced by draconians, not making it possible for everybody to ascend the right way. So we came here to outbreed the incorrect memory banks, which is called radiogenesis, to make the ascension path for us and others and offspring nicer. And the help was required for millions of angels. You are all royal. You came from the Legion up on high and you said, well, I decide to partake here for the love. I'm coming down here to Earth, Villa Tropa, Gateway 616 or 606. Even in SG1 we have an address, which is similar to most addresses mentioned. Anyway, so eggs are being removed or have been removed and you have children. Some of you know it. Some of you have met the hybrid children. I met mine, and it's a breeding program, not in a bad way, more as in assisting, you can say, the genetic manipulation to make it actually correct. So there were discrepancies in our genetic alteration and manipulation. It is to be believed, according to the Oracle system and the bit mapping, that we have been altered 64 times. So we're all mutants. All of you are mutants. All humans are GMO, genetically modified. operandus. That's who you are. But what cannot be prevented is that the natural course of things is that you will wake up according to your gene codes. You will override epigenetic programming, and you will learn that. So here are the cases of phantom pregnancy that had been in the hundreds of thousands. Then there's been cases where there has been the miscarriage and the egg was gone. First it was there and then it's gone. Some believed they know when they lost their eggs, but consider this: most of you don't know when you have lost your egg because it has been taken, and that life was created from that, and that was decided by you to assist what's going on. That's past gray, or past these hideous and doomsday prophets that come with whatever has been created, an invasion. You all are not from this planet, understand? You all from other parts of the galaxy, and you all came here to participate in this game to fix it. So no one's to blame. You're worthy, you're royal, you're here, you're doing the job. Great work, we're proud of you. Next. Then there's a case where you have the phantom pregnancy and it's not checked if the egg is there or not, and there's no egg and there's no pregnancy. So that egg was removed even way before you could even check that it was there and you were pregnant. You can go back into what they call the immaculate conception. There's no such thing. It takes the physical to create the physical. So there's no metaphysical sperm that inseminates the physical ovum, and then you have a physical offspring from something metaphysical and physical. You are meta and you are physical always. You oscillate, you can say in and out and in and out, and that's so fast that I seem like a continuous picture, which is just, you know, frame by frame by frame by frame by frame by frame, and the illusion of time gives you the regulatory imprint and realization that there's information being relayed to you through this conduit, connected to the Ra collective, very much Arcturian and very much channeled. So there is the case of women being pregnant, the egg is there, they didn't have their cycle, and for no apparent reason the egg is gone, and there is nothing on the body. These are the cases when it was actually clean and swift. Now we're coming to the abduction cases where it's not so swift. So if somebody wakes up after phantom pregnancy, and many cases have been in the US where the egg disappears. They're all reported under weird circumstances, but there are hundreds of thousands of cases where the egg disappears. Well, that has part to do with that it has been removed on a ship. There's been cases where women gave birth, and all of a sudden we were informed a woman had an aneurysm, started convulsing while giving birth, blood coming out of the nose and the mouth, and the Galactic Committee, and that's how much this is being in control, says we cannot let that happen. This timeline is not for her to deviate. These two individuals need to live life together and create a timeline that will be profitable for other timelines to meet and, coincide. So she says she's doing this, she feels she's croaking, heart failure, baby coming half out the womb, shut down, systems going. She wakes up on a ship and they reinsert a clone, holographically imprint that very quick. The aneurysm disappears for no apparent reason. She comes back and they save her and she gives birth. Well, our friends up there, our angels, our brothers and sisters assist when that happens. So there's been cases when women were pregnant and they had a critical condition where on a ship they assist in an interdimensional timeline with a holographic instrument that kind of has the template of your etheric body with the same information of this to make sure to keep this going. So there's been plenty of cases where people said, well, that person should have been dead, but they came back. There was one case where after the birth, the woman died and the systems went on shutdown, and basically the white cloth was put over the body, as weird as it sounds, please bear with me, and then the system came back and they have no idea how that happened. Sometimes exchange can take place. You have duplicates and copy bodies to make sure certain timelines are here for you to continue. Some are absolute. When they go, they go. But they're very, very concerned with us living our lives to the fullest degree to develop the potential of the cosmic and interdimensional avatar in the vessel, and realizing that and having the memory. So now away from these phantom pregnancies and having lost a child, not really, most of the times they're taken. There was a case with a woman, one movie was made about, I think, Encounter of the Fourth Kind, where she had children and they were hybrids. They were already different. They already had skills. And at the age of 4 and 5, both disappeared. And she was kind of like prosecuted in, you killed your kids, but no bodies were ever found. And when they did, lie detector tests and readings, that these kids disappeared, really, they were taken. So that happens also. Sometimes we have them visiting us. There was this case of Stan Romanek where the kids came and visited him, and he took pictures of the footprints the hybrid children left in the backyard. And in the footprint, the snow would melt and flowers would grow out of the footprint. Now, what does that tell you? That these kids are so holy, so pure, and so blessed within their persona, face conjugate, that it is too soon for them to live with us on this planet. But at some point, this creation of a hybrid race, which is what we all are, hybrids, we all are mutts, so will lead to that we can endure the plasmic beams and sun rays, because you can take somebody probably, let's say, from the 1200s and put him into this timeline, he would probably die within a week, because you wouldn't even able to handle the flow of data, the informational in and output that already is running, the activation codes that our DNA is running, and his junk DNA would be not even close to be activated to where we are right now. So also, I want you to have no fear, like get over your fear, develop consciousness. When you wake up on a ship, develop consciousness to handle the situation. I did it in the beginning. I was very, very confused. I had an invisible friend since I was born, since I can remember. And it was very difficult to integrate that in kindergarten or in school, so I shut my psyche off when I was 5 or 6. At some point, 30 years later, that psyche turned back on, and now I'm learning to handle it. And trust me, it is not an easy job and not an easy task to modulate and regulate a higher dimensional frequency where you speak star language. You can write other languages besides your own. I have done a course on how to activate your star language, and it can be very, very confusing. Also, sometimes you wake up with, I had that in the beginning, black and blue spots on my hip, because when I woke up on a ship and I was on a bed and I was ready for my cosmic exam, I call it, I have a med team. I think that the Ascension are my med team. They do checkups, emotional processing, body, metabolism, all that stuff. So I know what they're doing, and I ask, and I'm crystal clear. It's not like some free association or I'm putting it and concocting it together. They say everything that you channel on Earth, any show that you watch, anything sci-fi, we give you. So you remember, this is very real outside of your planet. You're not on the quarantine that has been lifted 2012. Now you have to realize the interdimensional access or fifth dimensional things are, you will be able to invent things that you were not able to 20 years ago. So there's less resistance in what we do. Also, get out of these program modalities that you are hacked, as in people have, infiltrated you or have access to you. Stay away from the sensationalism. We are real people having real contact experience, contactees, extraterrestrial memories kicking in, hybrid, human. It feels a little bit schizophrenic when you wake up one morning and all of a sudden it's like, Amwa nakasaya ataya mewaka nekeshewe tayo wasamo atumu emwe ne asakaa ni wasafaa jaya mayaka saha utu yumu ayasate iu kamaya seu nefatari o satamu tefnut eliafa tefninut yasnyapabu kasya avaru asananyamwa temwe. and then you're thinking, oh my God, I'm losing my mind. Or for those who had psychedelic experience, oh, I just tripped my brains out, it was just a trip. No, mind you, this was an activation. And when you come off that, because life is a trip, you are a trip, tryptophan, endorphin, serotonin, melatonin, melanin, all of those things are catalysts, because you can watch TED Talks that your entire life is an induced psychoactive illusion by the brain, so you can understand this dimension and work here. So a psychedelic experience is just cranking up the extreme, as in the color tint, the sound waves, the frequency bands. If you're going from 5-dimensional apps to 360,000 apps, not everybody's able to handle that. Take your time. Do what is within the legal realms of what you can process. Don't go crazy. Know what you're doing. There are modalities with magnetic chambers or photonic chambers to actually get the brain and the modality synchronized, living in the mountains or in an area that is a holy spot or phase conjugate to help you to activate. Very, very important. So also coming back to people waking up at black and blue spots, that has to do with you not cooperating with your family, and you're like, get off me, leave me alone. So you don't want to fit in the thing that you're laying in on the table. You want to kick, let's say you want to kick the doctor, as in the interdimensional surgeon, you're hurting yourself. So what they do is they either sedate us or paralyze us to a degree that we are not of danger to ourselves in that dimension, because things can go wrong. You don't want that. See what happened to Trevor Walton, was that he ran into an interdimensional beam and he almost had a heart failure. So the main thing for them was to make sure that dude doesn't, die on them, because he ran into a high dimensional frequency, which is still at the place where that took place. So we relay this message to you to understand, don't be afraid, cooperate, and I have never had an experience with a reptilian or an evil entity or some weird stuff. Yes, there are ghosts out there. Yes, there are demons out there, as in thought forms that are spirit forms that need healing, and they can look very, very nasty and very ugly, and they can sit on people like a hull. And when you in a higher state of a shamanic or galactic shaman even sequence in your third eye can see that, you will see what's possessing or what's obsessing from the thought realm. Very, very important. These dimensional realms are very, very existent. Tesla said that at some point we will have gadgets that enable us to look into a light spectrum where you will see interdimensional appearances and interferences walk around, such as plasmic overlays, ghosts, emotional imprints, hauntings. Most our big cities are haunted anyway. It's a mess how most countries were conquered and created. We all know this, and as we get psychic, we have to clear these interdimensional fractals and heal them and bring order and structure to this. So black and blue spots on hands, triangles on your hands. Also, please, if you have this experience, don't think that you're your own and you're the only psychic on the planet. Please don't think your name is Sananda. Please don't develop a messiah complex. We all have it. We're all linked. We're all together in this, and we all have to solve this. How do we work together? Look at Star Trek or SG-1, Stargate. As a team, we'll solve the equation of the situation to find a common medium where we all say this makes sense, and can we all agree that we're seeing the same thing? Yes, we can. So, having said that, this is for you to memorize who you are and where you're from, and over time it'll trickle in. There are kids that wake up with full memory, and parents, I'll urge you, don't say it's a fantasy or it's imaginary. Sit down and take notes. It can get very, very, very detailed, and you'll be surprised of things that you find. That 3 years are now waking up hearing something about a unified field theory, and they're between 3 and 4, and they're like, that's kind of incorrect, and they draw a little cube and they say, actually the dimensions look like this and like this, and when we have the frequency, then we can go here. And daddy goes like, okay, you have a little bit too much fantasy, since you don't have a Harvard or Yale degree who can accept you or listen to you or take you serious. And at some point we will actually find that, oops, after almost 100 years we found out that there are gravitational waves. At some point, we will also find a frequency how to manipulate that and build hovercrafts. That doesn't mean you have an interdimensional vehicle. You call it UFO. The Galactic Confederation calls it MEV, multidimensional excursion vehicle. That's actually the royal craft. And when they travel, they make sure they enhance where they go. The rest is government, kind of like General Motors, some more or less hovercraft and mimicking. And you'll know the difference also when your psychic and your telepathic and telepathic skills are more developed. You will know who's who. You will see in the sky what gives you the creeps and what gives you actually good feelings. So telepathy means no more lies. Everything hidden will be revealed. Every crush you'd ever had will be revealed. Any mischievous behavior will be revealed. And kids are growing up right now seeing what's what. So we urge you also to not follow the sensationalism. Watch a movie by Mary Rodwell, The New Human. She has interviewed kids with skills that will blow your mind. And it's not like Harry Potter, it's more what's efficient in the process of ascension and waking up. And this message for you also for 2019 is ascension is taking place with the consciousness first. It's not like you're going to go, oh, now I'm rising up and I'm going to the sky and I'm turning into light. That'll be too easy. That'll be too quick. So, ascension is also a process of inscension, as in finding pieces of your soul and putting the assembly back together of who you are, so you remember who you are. And it can get as crazy as you want, as crazy as you will. I mean, Hitchhiker's Guide Through the Galaxy. That movie. It's just, you watch it and then you go like, what the heck is going on? Well, that's the purpose of that information given to you. The movie Lucy. Watch it. And watch how you feel while you view that. Information and technologies trigger certain things in you, and you will get up and do things different. So also, which is getting a bigger topic than I actually had in mind, is ascension will lead eventually to, let's say you have 2,000 people out there somewhere, troops in Iraq, and 250 males and female will look at their weapon and will look at themselves and will say, what are we doing here? What are we fighting for? And what is the end result of that? And you will realize that your higher self, as in ye are gods, children of the Most High, your Messiah or Messiahs or prophets said that. When you're Most High, your higher self will look at you and you will look up and you're gonna be like, I'm no longer in agreement with what's taking place here. Yeah? Same thing as in honor, as you work for something or an oath that you swore and you see a colleague, your morals will kick in and you will no longer tolerate inappropriate behavior and the misuse of being a figure of authority, and you will report, because it is decreed by your higher self that order must be maintained and will come to this planet, and things will change drastically. For things that took place in the hidden catacombs of the mischievous shadow self will be revealed. So now karmically we have to heal ourselves, clear ourselves, and stand clear with what we are. And if somebody does physical harm to one or upsets anything or anybody, and the upset is not stopped, then it is for the divine spirit to retreat and no longer deal with the upset. Nothing gets touched, nothing gets talked to. But if there's physical action, that also will be stopped. Also, that's why we have YouTube, we have social media to inform of what's happening right now. And sorry that the energy in the big cities is critical. So look at the demographics, look at the crime rate, look at the heated corners and stay away from them. Avoid that. Find other places where you can tend your garden in peace and develop that, and find those that are in resonance with you, because we're not here to convince. We're not here to manipulate or try to find a following. This is more like a coaching, and where people in the crew or in the team agree. And if that team goes to the playoffs, well, that team goes to the playoffs. Which would you call that? What? Ascension. So ascension, what comes into your mind is that cosmic common sense of what you're here to do will kick in. That will you understand that the planet needs repair. We owe big time. We had an allowance. Every breath is an allowance. Every time earth and sun and moon and everything around you is in balance, you have an allowance. When that stops, no one here is here to argue. When a flood comes, we've seen it several times, or a storm, all the technology in the world cannot save you. But what you can do is fractally to harmonize and bring this planet back to order, is help one another, see one another, feel one another, work together as a team, enrich one another with ideas. Everybody can make money. Everybody can have an online store. Everybody can be an advisor or have an opinion. You all are specialists in something. No one is forever lost, because lost is an illusion of the mind. And on that note, I'll flip you on the seaside. I see you most definitely on the flip side. And that is the acknowledgement that you are not from here. You're here to do greater things, to make the better choice. You are from the higher dimension. You are the zip file of the cloud server of the angelic self that is you. And you make the two one. And come into agreement with your higher self, because that is what you're here for. Ultimately to become who you truly are. And it gets fantastic. That is guaranteed. Peace.